name is Sean Arnold, and welcome to another episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist Online Ranked Duels, episode number 121. I was requested by subscriber Benjamin Anazoba to play a UA deck, and so here you are, dude. Here is UAs in action. UAs are an archetype which I have dabbled in before, but I haven't actually done so this year after the recent winter update. And so let's take a look at what UAs are like now. Since the winter update, the biggest thing we lost with UAs was the access to free copies of reinforcement on the army. That is the main searcher for your main play card UA midfielder, as you see put onto the field just now. Now there are other ways to bring UA midfielder to the field, and one thing we've been doing to speed up this deck a bit is by using the SPEEDROID engine. SPEEDROID engine is 3 SPEEDROID Terratops and 1 SPEEDROID Tactenborg, and that way on your first turn, hopefully, you can bring out MX Saber Invoker, which can search out midfielder and get it to your hand. UAs really revolve around getting midfielder ASAP because they only have one monster which is level 4 or lower, meaning that the rest of your deck is kind of filled with high level monsters. Now you may be thinking, a deck with high level monsters that isn't monarchs, is that going to be good? Is that going to be too slow? Well, the answer is yes and no. The downside with UA decks is that they do have a lot of high level monsters and therefore need tribute for them to bring them out, but you can bypass that if you can use midfielders effect and their effect to special summon each other and tag with one another. Kind of like how you would see a football team working in soccer or in football. You see one player pass the ball from each other to the other so that they are working together as a team. So, on the field right now I have Blockbacker and a face down card, which we'll talk about later. My opponent is playing Gravekeepers. Gravekeepers are a solid anti-meta deck, as they always have been, and I like the tech that my opponent is using of Royal Prison, from stopping monsters from being special summoned from the graveyard. Unfortunately for my opponent, one anti-meta deck does not counter another anti-meta deck, and so his restriction on the graveyard isn't going to hurt UAs too much. Another thing which I really like about UAs is that they're not really too reliant on the extra deck. Besides that first turn MX Saber Invoker to get midfielder out, you don't really need to use your extra deck, which is what I kind of like. You know, most decks, you know, they're all about the extra deck, and UAs not too much, not so much, which I kind of like, and I think that's kind of cool about them. On my own turn here, I've now used another UA key card, UA Power Jersey. That has 4 different effects on one equipped spell card. It's kind of nuts in that way. It gives your UA monsters an 1000 attack boost. If you destroy an opponent's monster by battle, you get to attack again. And also, any damage you deal to your opponent whilst attacking one of their monsters is doubled, which allows you to go for some really cool OTKs if you can get it off. Plus, it's actually 5 effects. I'm sorry, I'm wrong. If you tag one UA for another UA monster out and it gets sent to the graveyard, you get to bring it back to your hand. And you want to do that quite often, particularly before the end of your turn, because what happens with UA Power Jersey is that if it's equipped to a UA monster and it goes to your standby phase, you lose that monster to the banish pile. So you always want to kind of get it back into your hand before the end of a turn to protect your monsters. Now we've got another UA key card on the field, and that is UA Stadium. UA Stadium is another searcher for your deck, and you really want midfielder in your hand for this before you use it. Anytime you normal summon a UA monster, you get to search another one out from your deck, which is why you want midfielder, because it's a free normal summon. However, although I got to search out Mighty Slugger, I wasn't actually able to use Mighty Slugger because it got hit by Solemn Warning. But now we're going to use another UA card here, and I'm sorry, I've forgotten the name of the card. UA Penalty Box, that's what it's called. UA Penalty Box has 2 really cool effects. The first one is when a UA monster attacks another opponent's monster, you get to banish your opponent's monster for 2 turns. That's really helpful. It's a really strong effect. If you do that against XE monsters, they lose their materials, and against something like Gravekeepers, where most of their face down cards are going to be Nobleman, Spy, or their other level 3 searcher, banishing those monsters is really helpful. You don't really need UA Power Jersey in that situation because you don't want to destroy monsters. Plus, the other effect of Penalty Box is that when it is in the graveyard, you can banish it, send it to the banish pile, and get to search out a UA spell or trap card. And so that searches out Stadium, Power Jersey, and also another card which you're not going to see, but you will see in the deck profile in just a moment. So, I think this is the final turn of the duel here. We are now about to wrap this up. I normal summon midfielder, and this time we're going to search out another monster called Dreadnought Dunker. I can't remember if Dreadnought Dunker is new or not. I think he might be one of the new ones. I can't quite remember. but Dreadnought Dunker comes to the field, and when Dreadnought Dunker destroys an opponent's... When Dreadnought Dunker does battle damage to the opponent, it destroys one card on the field, which is really quite awesome. So that's your removal card, and so that's going to help me with this situation here. But to wrap up this duel here, we've got more than enough damage on the field with Mighty Slugger to kind of kill my opponent this turn and attack twice and win the game. Hey everyone, thank you for tuning into the video, and here is the deck build as promised. Feel free to use it and take it and adapt it any way you want to. And like I said earlier in the video, what I like about this deck is that it's not too reliant on the extra deck, so don't worry if you don't have all the monsters in your extra deck. The only one you really want and care about is MX Saber Invoker, so make sure you go and find that one. Before we end this deck profile part, I just want to throw out an idea out there. I've been thinking about maybe switching to a PC version of Yu-Gi-Oh! And checking out some more modern decks. If you guys are interested in seeing me do more modern decks in the 2017 environment, let me know. Otherwise, I can just carry on with Legacy of the Duelist and keep on doing deck builds for that. As always though, thank you for watching and take care.